It is Tuesday, March the 17th. I think it's the 17th, the year 2026. At least that's what we think it is. Welcome, everybody, to the Mods 2 Ray Show. The timing of these gun bans should worry you. You guys know the routine. Come in, hit the like button, smash the comment section. Let me know exactly where you're watching from, what city. I am Maj 2 Ray, founder of Black Guns Matter and Solutionary University. We talk about politics, pop culture, anything that's related to anything, as long as we can turn it into solutions, because we are solutionaries. Guys, we got a slew of anti-gun legislation coming through tremendously from Virginia all the way up as far as Rhode Island, and we're going to go over a lot of this tonight. You guys know that our work for the last few years has been completely free to all. Firearms basics, Second Amendment work, firearms safety classes, free to all who may need those classes because of your voluntary donation. So obviously I'm going to ask you guys to make sure you support the work. And as you're going to see this legislation tonight, you're going to see we got a lot of work to do. Again, like I said, Virginia is crazy. Rhode Island, Washington, Colorado. It's getting really, really goofy outside, and we're going to need everybody's support to create more Second Amendment supporters. So again, guys, givesendgo.com/solutionary. Support at whatever level you can when you tap in. Who do we got there? We got Protocol. What's up, Protocol? How are you? You guys know the routine. Repost if you're watching this on X. Anywhere else, YouTube, Rumble. Let me know in the chat, in the comment section, whatever platform you're on, where you're watching from. If you're watching on X, shoot over to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. I think we're gaining a decent amount of following on the YouTube channel. We're trying to get the page up to 100,000. I am officially a streamer and YouTuber and all those other different things. Quentin Roy tapping in from St. Louis. What's going on, y'all? So I want to start with this video right here, y'all. This gentleman here is from Bangladesh, and he has effectively been one of the anti-gun politicians in the state of Virginia to violate his oath to the Constitution. He's fresh off the boat, so I don't really know exactly what he's talking about, his knowledge of the Second Amendment. I usually say when anti-gunners are anti-gunners, they're violating their oath to the Constitution. But this dude, I'm not sure if he even really understands this, but let's play this. State Senator Saddam Aslan Salim. Let's play it real quick and give me some likes in the chat.
We are one of the reasons why they don't have to go through those drills, because we made sure that a place that they call schools or home, wherever it may be, is a safe place. So, Madam President, with that, I ask and renew my motion that we agree and concur with the House amendments.
The question is, shall the Senate concur?
Let me run it
Look at
back.
us to say we are one of the reasons why they don't have to go through those drills, because we made sure that a place that they call schools or home, wherever it may be, is a safe place. So, Madam President, with that, I ask and renew my motion that we agree and concur with the House amendments.
The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House substitute for Senate Bill 749? All in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
This is what happens when we allow the general public to not have an understanding of civics and American history. Now, I'm gonna go off on a bit of a tangent again, a bit. I want to back up and see how we got to this place. All right. For those of you that are not aware, you 1000% should be taking the Civics and Liberty 101 course. That's it. Not just because you need to have a civic understanding of how the process is supposed to go, but also that Civics and Liberty 101 class gives a breakdown of what went into the actual reason for the founding documents. Why did the anti-federalists fight so hard to make sure that the Bill of Rights was a part of the Constitution? Why were so many of those states not going to participate, or delegates and representatives from those states? Why were they not going to participate if the Bill of Rights was not made into there? A lot of people don't even know that the Bill of Rights initially wasn't just 10. It got whittled down to 10. And there were people that didn't even want it to seem like it was a separate part of the Constitution. But my point in saying this is, We go over all of this in our Second Amendment, in our Civics and Liberty 101 class, and we want to make sure that everybody's taking this. So when you have a group of people in Virginia of all places, intricate in the creation of the United States of America, there's a few states, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, Virginia, right, that had key components in the creation of the United States of America. Now, if I can say that as a black man, knowing that the history of black men in America, and me taking the mantle as I got to be more of a patriot damn near than anybody. If I look at Frederick Douglass back in that time, who was super eloquent and spoke of freedom and liberty and actually lived it, if I can say that, then everybody else should be to say that. And to even go a step further and create a class and a curriculum for every single person to be a part of, everybody in here should be a part of it. Everybody should everyone has access to the Civics and Liberty 101 class. Give me a show of hands in the chat. Who in here has or has not taken the Civics and Liberty 101 class? Now, I want to see from y'all in the chat. Again, we all solutionaries in here. It ain't no diss, but we're going to be 100 with each other. The reason why this guy, this state senator, who's been in America less than a decade, can get to the halls of power, legislative, and start to spin a critical state like Virginia, which has been taken over. That happens because the general populace is not aware of the importance of the Second Amendment, because they don't understand what it actually means in the founding documents and how that's still the supreme law of the land. First and foremost, all of these statutes and things that they're doing right now in Virginia are 1,000% going to be challenged. They're going to be challenged. When they get challenged, they're going to go up to the Supreme Court. The Bruin decision, which our work is cited in, huge shouts to everybody that's been supportive of the work. The Bruin decision reshaped the narrative of how cases and gun-related, arms-related cases are handled. Does this have an alignment with the long-standing history of the Second Amendment as explained in the Bruin decision? If it doesn't, you might as well not even waste your time. But these politicians, like these guys, like to fundraise on something, acting like they're doing something, pretending as if safe and responsible firearms ownership is the bane of the Americans' existence. That's their thing that they're running on. So they fundraise, they say, yeah, we had to do something about it. The people from the general public who are unaware, that don't know the history, that definitely don't know the data, that more safe and responsible firearms owners in areas that have them have lower violent crime. They're talking about this right now in Virginia, where they just had a shooting in Old Dominion University, which is in Norfolk, Virginia. They're telling you to do these things, and we're going to go over all of this tonight. We're going to go over all of these, a bunch of these weird-ass anti-gun, unconstitutional legislation, but we're going to tie this in with, why would you be advocating for this right now? Right at the moment where you're saying you got the federal government and president and local law enforcement saying, we are on high alert because we are currently at war with Iran. Told y'all in last week's show, November of 2025, 4 drones went missing from a military base. And they saying, yo, we hearing it might happen in California, which might be a misdirection. We are all aware that there's sleeper cells potentially, or CIA doing this thing, false flags, humans, real death happens in false flags. But in the middle of all of this, the legislature and the legislative body of Virginia and other states are openly advocating for you to have less means to defend yourself. Tell me how that makes sense. It doesn't. It's just back-to-back stupidity. And I can prove that it's just stupid. I can prove it's very, very stupid. Okay? Here's how it's very, very stupid. Check this out real quick, y'all. Listen to this.
Hey, good morning, friends. I just wanted to hop on and let you know about a bill that passed yesterday on the House floor, House Bill 1525, which is intended to disallow anybody under the age of 21 to purchase, transfer, or possess a firearm. And I won't go into all the details, but
that's the problem. You politicians never want to get into the details because your homie and puppeteer is in the details, the devil. That's why y'all never want to get into the details. Here's a detail for everybody. Here's an amazing detail. What age did she say? You can't get it if you're under the age of 21. Let's go back. Let's go back a bit.
25, which is intended and let you know about a bill that passed yesterday on the House floor, House Bill 1525, which is intended to disallow anybody under the age of 21 to purchase, transfer, or possess a firearm. And
in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia is the largest military base in the world. There's a lot of young men that are at under 21 in the Navy. Literally, this legislation right here would make those armed servicemen convicted felons if they have firearms, 18 to whatever age. These people are morons, or they're idiot, genius, evil, genius savants. I can't always tell. Sometimes you're so dumb that I'm like, this, you're doing the drunken monkey technique. And then sometimes I'm like, nah, you just dumb. Sometimes I'm like, y'all just so evil. So this is in Virginia, where the largest naval base, American naval base in the world, is headquartered. There's a ton of 18 to 21-year-olds in the Navy, and they will not lawfully be able to carry a firearm. Tell me how that shit makes sense. It doesn't. Let's play a little bit more of what this fucking dork is talking about.
And I won't go into all the details, but it says no one under 21 can do this unless you're with an accompanying adult and you're hunting or you're going to a shooting range. Well, friends, go to the Code of Virginia and see what the definition of an adult is. It's somebody who's 18. This is the absurdity. This is the perfect example of the...
She's wrong, first and foremost. Guys, this is why I tell everybody to get an etymological dictionary. And you should know history of America. Even if you don't like America because you feel like it's racist. And whatever you want to say, right? Know the history. Somebody in the chat tell me, because I know y'all solutionary is going to know. Let's get the likes up too, y'all. Hit the like button. Everybody in here, hit the like button. Everybody in here should be subscribed as well. Here's the funny thing. Somebody in the chat, tell me the age of what a member of the militia was, and based on what the actual definition of the term was. Somebody tell me, when they wrote the Constitution, the Bill of Rights and all of that, y'all know that the man is the militia. Like, able-bodied men are the militia. We the people are the militia. They try to slick talk you with that and try to make it say it's the military, and it's not. No, not 14, Rob. Bookworm is 17. It's 17 years old. 17 years old. So these people play these games. And if you don't know, we go over that in our Civics and Liberty class, Civics and Liberty 101. Everybody in the chat should have that class. Everybody in the chat that has donated has over $100. Everybody that's a $100 donor has that class. But let's play more of what this geek is saying.
Of the absurdity in Richmond and the attack on our Second Amendment rights. This one is just an informational message. Just wanted to let you know. Hey, good morning.
These people are, at a certain point, I don't really care if they're just incompetent and don't know history. And an incompetent person in a position is more dangerous than an evil person in a position, in my opinion, a lot of times. It's like fighting somebody that don't know how to box. They'll like bite you. And you thinking you're going to square up with them and they'll just bite you because you thought you was fighting fair and square, right? The incompetence of it all. They don't even know the protocols, okay? That leaves you at a disadvantage. But this is what these people have done. But I want to go over some of these bills real quick, okay? Now, two of these hot bills are Bill 217 and Senate Bill 749. Now, they're identical in key parts, and they're already passed by the General Assembly like early to mid-March this month. But now they are awaiting Governor Abigail Spanberger's signature. And I want to say something about that too. In Virginia's legislation, because people are like, oh, if the governor never signs the bill before a certain date, the Constitution, that's not how the Virginia legislature works. They got some weird thing written in their thing where if the governor doesn't sign it physically before a certain date, it automatically goes in. So that's a little distinction that I just want everybody to understand. This is why you got to read, like they say. I don't want to get into the details. I do. I want to get into the details. Okay? I want to find where the devil is and run him out of it. So it's waiting on Spanberger's signature. It's supposed to be April the 13th is the deadline, right? But when these things start to happen, people start buying a bunch of guns and they say they're going to get grandfathered in. And that's cool, but that doesn't help your future generations. You have to be involved and fight these things off at the pass before they even get there. Do not relax, because what starts to happen is, because of the Bruin decision, everybody goes, well, once it go up to the Supreme Court, well, there's a caveat to that. The Supreme Court could choose not to take the case. And now you just got bad law until the 9 justices on the Supreme Court decide to get busy. If you are relying on the Supreme Court to interpret constitutional law, which is their job, they're supposed to be the final boss. It's not supposed to make it up to them. The really confusing and conflicting things are supposed to make it up to them, not things that have already been enumerated in the Constitution of the United States. This is not complicated. When you are on the tail end of your situation, your constitutional understanding, your conservative situation, you are on the tail end of that. If everything got to get litigated all the way up to the Supreme Court, that's money, that's tax dollars, that's lawsuit money for things that have already been clarified in the Second Amendment of this Bill of Rights of this Constitution of the United States of America. Okay? Now, I heard Bob here say, I will not comply. I'm with you on non-compliance. But outside of just non-compliance, because I don't comply with any of those rules. Me, I don't. Y'all know that. But bigger than non-compliance is informing more people. So the politicians, it doesn't even make sense for them to even try it. I don't expect a politician in this day and age that is not well-versed and steeped in the Constitution to have our best interest at heart, our respect. The more respect they have for the Constitution, the less they can do on the job. In a constitutional republic, government only exists, or is supposed to only exist, to defend the rights of the people. That's the extent of their job. When they pretend like they helping, they get more power because more people to more government. That's where the term by the governed in the Constitution comes from. All right? Well, that's the offshoot of that. I'm saying this to say, if you're a negative opportunist, your job is to try to get as much power for you as possible. The way that you do that is to pretend like you saving and helping people when that's actually not government's job. Government's job is to limit government, have a system of checks and balances, and defend the smallest republic, which is you, the individual, defend their rights. But if you start telling people that, one, you won't be able to go to D.C. as a greedy politician at a job that pays a little under $200,000 a year and in 5 years be worth 30 or 40 or 50 million dollars. See, the game is public service, but they trying to tell you that the game is them telling you what to do. That's not what the job is. So we get goofballs like this doing all of that. Again, SB 749 and HB 217. Now, after that deadline, once she signs it or she doesn't, right? This is going to ban the import, sale, manufacture, purchase, or transfer of so-called assault firearms, which basically means semi-automatic, centerfire rifles, pistol, shotguns, da-da-da-da. If you got a detachable magazine with 15 to 20 rounds of capacity, That's what they're gonna like call, oh, this is a military style. That's what they're gonna do. It's gonna ban so-called large capacity magazines. And I say so-called because it's not large capacity. ARs always had 30 rounds from the gate. Shouts to Eugene Stoner. Okay? It's going to ban so-called large capacity, or let's use the right terminology, standard capacity magazines. Okay? They're going to say you can't have more than 10 rounds in your AR mag. Sale, import, etc. Those things become class 1 misdemeanors of those magazines. And the grandfathering for current owners, you could keep what you currently own, so no confiscation of existing guns or mags, but no future buying, selling, or transfer of those after July the 1st, 2026. So when we're talking about, I'm going to go buy as many guns, I'm going to get grandfathered in, that helps you, the individual, or the people that do that. That doesn't help your child, ironically, is called the grandfather. It doesn't help with the concept for your grandchildren as it relates to their personal protection and capability of defending life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness and property. So the penalties will be a class 1 misdemeanor for the violations, right? And then add restrictions onto your future rights. I thought that the Bill of Rights was a check on government, and that's actually what it is. But again, if you don't know, then they could just say anything and you don't fight and you start inadvertently complying with it. But who's exempt from this stuff? I'm going to go back. We're going to pause here. We're going to go through a few more. Then we're going to come back to who's exempt. That's what we're going to do. Guys, if you get some value from the show tonight, make sure you are supporting our work. GiveSendGo.com/Solutionary. All of our work for the last decade has been Second Amendment firearms, safe and responsible firearms ownership. Getting into the communities that these Democrats try to stronghold. They're smart or just evil, okay? They go to where the most freedom was. They took over Boston and Massachusetts. If you go to Rhode Island is fucking liberal. Rhode Island was another spot that was heavy on the freedom. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania. Maybe not so much Pennsylvania, but they got Philly, okay? New York. These were places that were instrumental in the creation of America and American freedom. People used to be, Philadelphia, and before I even get into all of that, okay? Philadelphia was a haven of freedom. New York, Frederick Douglass, it's like, man, bought a crib up in New York. Fresh off of out of captivity type vibe. So they go to those places to conquer those places. This is not an accident on their part. When I started BGM, I got so many people that were supposedly pro-gun telling me not to go to anti-gun cities. Our very first class outside of Philadelphia was in Baltimore, Maryland, another anti-gun spot where the anti-gunners, got busy and focused on. So we have to put that same energy into it. And I think maybe in the spring or the summer, I think we're going to get back on tour physically. But anyway, we want everybody to support the work. What do you get for supporting the work outside of paying it forward for more people to get involved? We started working in urban demographics. More black people in urban centers across America over the last 8 or 9 years have bought more guns than ever in American history. That's not an accident. We just went there and informed them based on your voluntary donations. We got 190 more donors left at the $100 level. Everybody that's a $100 level donor, you get access to all of these classes. See, I don't want to just talk to y'all. I see a bunch of people shooting me DMs, right? Shooting me DMs talking about a whole bunch of shit that don't have nothing to do with freedom, liberty, or their personal evolution. Sending me memes and shit. And that's cool and all. I'm a generally sociable dude. But if you requested a class, or if I know that you haven't taken a Stop the Bleed class, a firearms basics class, an understanding imminent threat class, a civics class, why are we chopping it up if you ain't using me to get better? Us talking about fucking sports has absolutely nothing to do with course correcting our country and saving the republic. This year, and this summer, America will be 250 years old. empires usually, or republics, excuse me, usually last about 200 and some odd years. We are such a far cry away from the Constitution, we got work to do. So this work that we've done has been based on your voluntary donations, and we need everybody to donate at that $100 level to get access to all of the classes. One hand watch the other, both hands get together and watch the face, baby. I don't want to play this game like this shit ain't important. I don't want to play this game like it ain't 9 bills in Virginia sitting on the governor's desk who's an anti-gunner. I don't want to play this game like everything's okay. I don't want to play this game like the current administration on the federal tip, the executive branch, has us in yet again another fucking forever war in the Middle East, while locally, this is about the 11th, Virginia, maybe Rhode Island, is the 11th or 12th state that is pushing forward with firearms bans as it relates to so-called assault weapons. ARs, semi-automatic firearms, for real, for real. I don't want to pretend with y'all like we cool just because I don't want to look like I'm dissing the Republicans when we in office. They're not doing enough. The Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. Name one anti-gun legislation on the federal level that has been repealed in the last year that Trump's been in office with the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. Name one. They didn't get the Hearing Protection Act done. They didn't get fucking suppressed. Okay, I know some of y'all gonna say, well, they got the tax stamp, the price taken out. The NFA shouldn't fucking exist. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like y'all come to the show every night, 9 p.m., for me to tell y'all the truth, give marching orders based on an objective perspective, chop it up with y'all. It's entertaining and all of that. But we not winning right now. If you pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment right now, yeah, you got a bunch of constitutional carry states across the country, no doubt. But now when Democrats get quiet after they get their ass whipped with Joe Biden being sleepy and then Kamala getting her ass whipped, we thought we were smooth sailing. We got the Republican gun slump, which means a Republican is the president. Everybody relax. People ain't buying as many guns. That's wrong. It's stupid. It's dumb. Meanwhile, at the same time, Democrats are quietly going, all right, cool. We're going to go this way, this way, this way. 11 or 12 states trying to get AWBs, assault weapons bans, so-called. Okay? The only shining light, who I'm a little disappointed in today, is Mike Lee with his constitutional carry legislation, which should go through. So we got work to do, guys. I want everybody in here be a donor at the $100 level, not just because we need your help, which we do. We're getting our ass whipped out here. Not just me, y'all too. We're getting our ass whipped. Wild Cell just put up a great point. They broke the seal on the $200 tax stamp. After the Democrats win the midterm, they're likely to change it again to $10,000 each or some shit. This is the back and forth. This is why we got to inform more people. This is why when I say be a $100 donor, get lifetime access to all of these classes, then you should be teaching your people. You got to use our access to the classes like you use your Netflix password. One person pay the bill, y'all get that shit to 10 people. I'm telling y'all, be a $100 donor, get access to all of these life-changing and empowering classes that helps you to become an actual solutionary, an actual patriot that can articulate these things. I'm not reading off a script right now. I'm just telling you what it is because of the information. I'm telling you, y'all can become just as sharp, if not even more. Then you can make your whole squad that. Because foreign nation does, politicians even try it in certain areas. It's almost like trying to introduce anti-gun legislation in Florida right now. Good luck. Or maybe even Texas. But Texas wasn't always in the best space. You had to fight for that. We got to fight for this. So I'm asking everybody to support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. You're going to get access to all of the classes that I just said. I want y'all to have transformative information so y'all become An actual person is fucking capable on several levels. Anyway, outside of that, let's get back to this next conversation here. I want to read this real quick. Okay? Virginia Rep. Virginia Rep. Tom Garrett loses it on Virginia Democrats for attempting to make almost all gun owners criminals with their new bill. I read some of the bill. I want to play this video for y'all real quick. Okay? This is what they're trying to do. If they can criminalize it because you aren't teaching your people about the reason for the Second Amendment and Bill of Rights and the limits on government. If you're doing this partisan thing, oh, I'm not going to act like we shouldn't be in a war right now. Come on. We're not going to do that. So if you don't inform the people, now they can say, oh, it's bad. Guns are bad. But let's read this. He says, I literally wondered if we were being pranked when I read the words in this bill. This bill will prevent people in Virginia from carrying on any, quote, any public street, highway, alley, etc. Let's play the video.
I read the words in this bill. You see, this bill would prevent people in Virginia from carrying on any, quote, any public street, highway, alley, etc.
Quote.
On or about his person. So, Mr. Speaker, the presidential nominee that carried those localities was fond of Venn diagrams. In my district, we have these things, just for people in Nova, called pickup trucks. This is a circle representing people in the rest of Virginia who own pickup trucks. Now, this is a circle representing the people in the rest of Virginia who own pickup trucks who also own firearms. And I just want to add a circle representing the people in the rest of Virginia who own pickup trucks, firearms, and like to shoot recreationally or hunt, because you were so kind as to put a carve-out in there. That's this. Your Venn diagram is one circle. Now, I understand that this sort of virtue signaling might win you votes in Nova, but for those of us who live in the real world, which I like to call Rova, this is absolutely positively not something that can be enforced. We've literally created a criminal class out of millions, not hyperbolic, of Virginians, and defined as an assault weapon a single-shot break-action .410 shotgun or a bolt-action rifle with an integral magazine if the barrel's threaded, which enhances lethality exactly none.
Zero.
And while we pardon all kinds of people who are committing crimes and reduce sentences and give judges the discretion to do things like waive off your DUI offense where you might have killed my child had circumstances gone differently, we're creating criminals out of people who want to drive to their next-door neighbor's farm in their pickup truck. If this bill passes, it will be challenged and it will fail and it will cost even more taxpayer dollars to try to defend this gobbledygook, Mr. Speaker. I would urge a no vote on this bill.
This is not complicated. When somebody knows the game and sees the game, they can articulate it well. This is why I keep telling y'all, get access to all of the classes. There's only 190 slots left for you guys to get access to all of the classes. I'm going to be saying this throughout the whole night, fucking guys. Do y'all know that, like, I live in Philadelphia. I know the history of the Gettysburg, Valley Forge, right? The history of William Penn making Philadelphia a city of brotherly love where everyone, like, he didn't want to beef with the Native Americans, the Pawnee, right? He wanted to do business with them, okay? There was a certain vision for a lot of these different places in Virginia specifically, but I think that people that don't know that, they don't, like, I'm kind of a geek. So when I'm in certain towns, when I'm in West Virginia, going to Tim Cass' house, filming Tim Pool in real life, right? I'm going to road over to Harper's Ferry and look at the raid of John, you know, what John Brown did and all of that. My point in saying all of this is, once you're informed, like this person is, you can call out their silly shit, because I'm going to keep it a buck with you. A lot of these people are not informed. They've just made this their thing that they can sell. They can sell this concept to other unaware people. It sounds right. Okay? It sounds right. It sounds like, yeah, a bad guy shot somebody, so if we just get rid of guns, then we'll be cool. It sounds like, to an uninformed person that doesn't know the nomenclature, that doesn't know this, that doesn't know that, It's easy for these snakes and snake oil salesmen to sell this to the general public. I can convince you that I'm operating your best interest, even if I know that once this goes up the ladder, it's going to get overturned, like the previous gentleman said. But I get to look like I was fighting for you. I get to look like I was fighting for lives and saving lives, completely ignoring, if ever knowing, the fact that there are 300,000 defensive gun usages annually on the light end, meaning somebody presents a firearm and stops a bad person from doing a bad thing. Minimum 300,000 a year. Okay? So if the general public doesn't know that, they don't hear this guy because they don't get any understanding of things. They would not, anybody that's listening to the show tonight, when they hear this person, they go, this guy's a moron. I'm going to play this clip in a bit. So if you understand the nomenclature, the history of civics, we didn't put these classes together by accident. There's a reason why we put American history, civics, and liberty all together. There's a reason why we have a stop the bleed class and a firearms class, safety class. There's a reason why we have an understanding imminent threat class that talks about conflict resolution. There's a reason why we have an entire 99-day program for people that want to step it up and get their life better in finances, fitness, firearms, all these different things. Because that person becomes the person that can't be tricked by fucking mopes like this. Listen to this, y'all.
If you have an assault rifle, you can keep it. If you have an assault pistol, if you want to have one of these pistols with a silencer on it and a pistol grip in the front, a really big pistol, if you want to have one with a telescope on it or lasers or whatever.
A telescope on it and lasers. Y'all hear this? You hear that? It don't sound right. But to an ignorant person that's, and when I say ignorant, I don't mean like in a rude way. If you're unaware of the nomenclature, some of y'all that's watching the show tonight are beginners. You might not know what he's saying that the gun people in the chat know that he sounds retarded about. You might not know because you don't know. My job, I work for y'all. My job is to make sure that I'm giving y'all all of the information, paying attention to what they saying, bringing it back to y'all and going, look at this stupid shit. And here's how they wrong and here's how this wrong. And this is what we going to do as solutionaries. That's what my job is. That's why I give y'all the show every night, Monday through Friday, so we could have this discussion. This is not to diss any of the beginners that may not know the languaging, nomenclature, and specifics. Okay? You got people in the chat going, this stupid mope, the thing that goes up. Right. They saying all of these things and he don't know what he's talking about. But these are people that, because of our unawareness of the importance and historical relevance of firearms, he said a telescope. He said a telescope. It's not what he meant, an optic. He meant a red dot. He meant whatever he meant. But if he doesn't understand these things, he should not be in a position to tell you what you can do or cannot do with the thing. He does not know what he's talking about. But this happens because we playing we fucking around. We know all of the fucking songs. We know all of the baddies, Bad Girls Club. We know all of that shit. We arguing about whether the head of National Counterintelligence today was right or wrong for respectfully resigning. That man did 11 deployments. He lost his wife. And I'm watching neocons and conservatives arguing, damn near call him a traitor because he's saying, yo, I don't know about this one. I'm going to respectfully decline. We're arguing about that. And I'm not mad at civil disagreement. I'm saying while we doing that, we got to build. Every single person watching the show tonight should have either A, donated, not because the donation. I want you to get the information. And I would rather you pay it forward for others so they can get the classes for free. And then you get all of the information and you put all of your people on. But no, some of y'all are DMing me about shit that don't got nothing to do with fucking our freedom and defending the republic. On the eve of a quarter of a century of our country being in existence. There has no other constitutional republic to live. And we doing like 7 out of 10 of the things that destroys all republics. Greece, insert whatever. Let's play. Let's see what Main Man's still talking about a little bit more. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Front, a really big pistol. If you want to have one with a telescope on it or lasers or whatever else you want, that's okay. You just can't buy a new one.
Think about that. This fucking dweeb, this dad bod, bad body built, bitch boy gonna tell you, an American, as he's in the political halls of power in Virginia, telling you, yo, it's cool. I don't know what this shit is called, but you can't buy a new one. It's revenge of the nerds. Where the jocks at? Geek, dork, goofy, dweeb, meat gobbler, cock smoker, telling you what you can have in the future, and he doesn't even know what the nomenclature is. In what world does that make sense? In what world?
And you can't sell it to anybody. If you want to have a magazine with more than 15 bullets, you can keep that too. You just can't buy a new one. And you can't, if you have an assault.
See, this where we at in the game. This where we at in the game. Then when I say it, oh, Maj, it's just that you, nah, I know enough to know enough. I know enough. I'm not falling for this stupid shit. Y'all can leave that to somebody else that might not know. Here's the problem for us all. I'm gonna say this, and it's accurate. And anybody that feels some type of way about me saying it, and if you think I'm talking about you, I am. It ain't nothing you could do about it. It ain't nothing you could do about it. Okay? This is what I'm gonna say. I want to go down in history as the best Second Amendment activist of all time. I want to galvanize this Second Amendment thing, which can be the bridge between race, class, power, all of that. Most of the people that y'all know with big followings and all that other shit, they don't do shit to strengthen the Second Amendment. They don't put no actual work in, and that's why I want to continue to, that's why I said I got to be serious about this internet shit. Most of these people is in it for getting gadgets from the fucking companies and getting the freebies and going to SHOT Show. And I love SHOT Show. When I was going, I loved it. Okay? Going to SHOT Show, having a whole bunch of the groupies. What fucking work have they put in the hoods across America to unify everybody across America? BGM stamped. We did it. I'm better than all of y'all. And if you want to be better than me, then put in more work than me. The problem is, I have people that's supposed to be Second Amendment folk actively working against because they don't want to stand too close to me. Maj and Shape. Maj don't follow none of them rules. I'm actually a patriot. If you think I'm talking about you or your fave, I am. If they want to be better than me with my aspirations, they got to do more. Tell me somebody outside of the internet, maybe some SF dudes that put together classes. Ain't nobody had a 10-year run. Free classes for everybody. This shit costs me a lot. You know how much I sacrificed for this shit? Because when I look at what's really going on out here, And when I read this type of legislation, it ain't just about me looking cool and having the coolest. I don't give a fuck what kind of guns y'all think I got or don't got. I'm a ghost. I ain't even here right now. I might be a figment of y'all imagination out this motherfucker. I don't care. But what I do care about is legacy, defending the republic, so our children's children. The Bible say a good man leaves his grandchildren an inheritance. These dudes is talking about, yeah, you could buy one. You just can't buy one in the future. You can't have one later. They're deliberately trying to cut off your future right now. What are we talking about? But because I see it and I don't want to be a part of none of these people cliques, I care about y'all, the people that's happening that's actually going to do something and be solutionaries. The problem is most of these people are fucking fair weather patriots. They don't want to call the government out when it's the Republicans. We don't want to rock the boat. No, everybody should be in the fucking Constitution boat. If you're not, or limited government boat. I'll say it that way because I don't want to too much offend, you know what I mean, my anarchists, because they got valid points. My ANCAP folks. I'm going to be clear about that. Okay? That Spooner shit is real shit too. If y'all ain't ever read no Spooner, you should. Okay? But what I am saying is, everybody should be in a limited government boat. Like the founders of America was. We talk this red, white, and blue shit. Y'all ready to hamburger and hot dog it up every 4th of July. Ain't fought for no real freedoms. You only want to push back against the left. What about when the House, the Senate, and the executive branch has control and they have not repealed any anti-gun legislation? I bet you, just like we seeing right now in Virginia, I bet you when the Republicans get their ass handed to them, spank that ass. When the Republicans get their ass spanked, come midterms, when they get spanked, okay, I bet you the Democrats rush to overturn anything that looked like, smelled like they thought it might be pro-gun. Bet you they do. They doing it right now in Virginia. So when I say we need your help, and y'all can see the track record of the work that we did while fighting, I would be a millionaire 10 times over if I wasn't doing this shit. I would. And I like shit. All my homies, my man Andy got a fucking Bugatti. He had that shit for like 3-4 years. He got $30 million worth of cars. Like, I like shit like that. Man, that's how I know I love y'all. But every man got his, man, listen, everybody got their patience level. Y'all have no idea the sacrifices I made. So when I see people looking all cute and shit, acting like they Second Amendment for real, and I'm like, bro, I ain't never even seen you at a fucking march or a rally, and I don't even do marches like that. There's content today of some of the bullshit that happened in Rhode Island, right? Years, I've been to Rhode Island at their fucking legislature meetings and spoke at Rhode Island going, fuck no, this is wrong. Showing up with a show of force. We got to get involved. Stop just being cool with these people because they shoot cool guns. That's not enough. The founders of America didn't just have guns. They was farmers, blacksmiths, carpenters, statesmen involved in the game. You got to limit government. Freedom, that shit ain't free. It take cooperative economics. It take discipline. It take a keen eye and a stern vision and a serious focus and a reminder that every day that motherfucking freedom rent is due. You got to limit government all the time. But let's read. What is they saying in Virginia? Shouts to Reason magazine. A lot of libertarians don't like Reason. Reason has always been genuine and nice to me. I can say that. All right. Virginia's impending assault firearm ban is logically and constitutionally dubious. The ban, which targets guns based on criteria that make little sense, seems vulnerable to a challenge under the Supreme Court's Second Amendment precedent. Bruin decision. Black Guns Matter, our work is cited in the Bruin decision. New York draconian carry laws. Motherfuckers told me not to go to New York and do classes. We go to New York and do classes, and we get some really powerful legislation that I worked with cited it in the Bruin decision. So when this Virginia bullshit, and some of the politicians know it, they just want to spend and waste tax dollars pretending like they actually helping the people. That's what I was saying to y'all earlier. But let's read it. Virginia's poised to become the 11th state. Okay, I was right, 11th. 11th state with a ban on so-called assault weapons, an arbitrarily defined category of politically disfavored firearms. Senate Bill 749 makes it illegal to import, sell, or buy many of the country's most popular rifles, including the AR-15, although it does not apply to firearms possessed prior to July 1st. See, that's them giving you a little, and then if you accept that, then they got you. You're not thinking about the future. You think about you selfishly right now. And a lot of y'all do that shit. When I say donate, it ain't my money. It's not my money. Oh, I got shit going on. Cool. That's how they fucking always get us. But anyway, the bill also prohibits the importation, sale, or purchase of magazines that hold more than 15 rounds, which are likewise highly popular and come standard with many models of rifles and handguns. The bill is awaiting the signature of Governor Abigail Spanberger, a Democrat, who has said she favors such legislation. Although the ban supporters portray it as a common sense way to reduce shooting deaths, that proposition is doubtful as it targets, which as usual have little or nothing to do with the gun's suitability for such crimes. And because the prohibited firearms are indisputably, quote, in common use for lawful purposes, the ban seems vulnerable to a constitutional challenge under the Supreme Court's Second Amendment precedents. Y'all. Yeah, like, come on. Let me read a little bit more, because I noticed, but I know some of y'all are beginners and new to the channel, so I got to be very patient. On its face, the magazine limit makes more sense, since the seconds required to switch magazines might provide an opportunity for victims to escape or disarm the shooter. But the wide availability of magazines already in circulation undermines any potential public safety benefit. And they were being generous right there, reason was. Like, it takes you a second to switch a mag. You push a button, the mag drops. If it's 15, it just means I can have more magazines and just do this more. Drop the button, put a mag in, go back to murdering people if I'm the killer. Okay? The wide availability of magazines already in circulation undermines any potential public safety benefit. Of the 1 billion or so magazines, 1 billion with a B, or so magazines that have been sold in the United States since 1990, according to a 2024 report from the NSSF. Shouts to the NSSF. That's who owns SHOT Show. NSSF is my people. Everybody, if you firearms-related business, you need to be a member of the National Shooting Sports Foundation. About 3/4 hold more than 10 rounds, while nearly half hold 30 or more. To the extent that the prohibited gun features in large, damn, y'all putting this on the screen too? Damn. Large capacity magazines are useful to mass murderers, of course. They are also useful to law-abiding gun owners, meaning nearly everyone who possesses these products. According to the latest NSSF numbers, more than 32 million rifles that would qualify as so-called assault weapons under definitions like Salim's have been sold in the United States since 1990. Since 1990, guys. It's billions of these joints floating around, but y'all want to trick talking to me about this type of stupid shit that has nothing to do with the real reality at all. At all. But you know how it happens? Because we're not involved. We tend to just get caught up in the sexy part of the game. The gun shooting and the talking. It's just like anything else, y'all. The ugly work that you don't want to do is the shit that mostly needs to be done. If you're a young lady and you go to the gym and you got a nice rump, right? You get attention from that rump. So you'll go to the gym with tights on and you'll do butt workouts and all of your content will be from the butt angle. Okay? I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just telling you, I'm going to use the men too, right? That'll be your argument. You'll be like, oh, I do. You know what I mean? You'll be in the gym or whatever. You'd improve way much more if you did upper body workouts just as much. Let's reverse it. Guys, every Monday, fucking huddled around, or not even just Monday. Monday's just International Chess Day. But guys, huddling all around all of the bench press. Not as much with the decline, not as much with the incline, but the flat press. They all the way around the joint. Da 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 da. You tell them to get under that squat rack or the pendulum squat. That's my new favorite, the pendulum squat. They wheezing and asking for forgiveness. But you would actually get stronger if you worked on the area that you're neglecting the most. Your most progress will come from the areas that you're neglecting the most. When we're applying that same logic to this gunfight, buying guns and talking about guns and working on guns and going to the range, it's awesome. That's great. That is not what the most of us need to be focused on for this part of the fight. It needs to be political involvement, civic engagement. It might mean running for office. I ran for office in 2018 and got beat the hell up. I ran for city council in the city of Philadelphia. Got my ass handed to me. But I needed to learn that. I needed to see what the process was. And I did. These things are not things that I'm just saying to y'all. Okay? These are things that I'm telling y'all like, yo, this is some real shit. So like the cute shit of the guns and going to the range and the edits and the videos and all that other shit, and saying Molon Lave, come and take it. The dorks are coming to take it. And they're going to use the same law enforcement people, the thin blue line, that you like, back to blue, because a lot of y'all are law and order people, not questioning what that actually means. They, Democrats, are going to send them same thin blue line people to come try to confiscate your shit. You going to bust your gun? I hope it never comes to that, for their sake. With me, I'm 78 years old. I expect to be alive this long. Okay? Gorilla Gun says, I just wish I could squat. My legs have still not fully recovered from the quadriceps tendon tear. Hey, mess with the sumo squat machine, Gorilla Guns. That might help. Shania says, run for dictatorship. No, I can't be the dictator. I'm like, y'all know who I'm like? I'm like Maximus in Gladiator. Even if I had the whole of Rome, I'd give it back to the Senate because it's supposed to be a system of checks and balances. There's a healthy argument and a limitation, you know what I mean, that you're supposed to have so the executive isn't ruling by decree or Congress don't get too big or the judicial, you know what I mean? That pyramid is the strongest fucking, there's a reason why it's there. I wouldn't even want to, man, I'm like Thomas Massey too. Like I low key would love to just do it for my local people, but like I'm better as a point guard. I'll say it that way. My job, and they say to people like me that's like, I don't think I should do that job, are usually the people that's best to do it because they wouldn't want to like control your life. I'm like a loner, if y'all don't know. Generally, I'm like a loner. I'll be quiet, thinking, peace and quiet. I don't want to have to I can't tell you how to run your life. I can help you. You know what I'm saying? I can help you. But the ultimate decision would have to be up to you. I know the answer. I've changed motherfuckers' lives. I've made people firearms instructors. I've made people fitness coaches. I've made people lose weight, gain weight, depending on what their goal was. I've made people smarter. I've made people better shooters. I've made people better shooters that then become instructors that make 10,000 people better shooters. You as solutionaries, we are force multipliers. We are force multipliers. So when I'm telling y'all, there's 200 people in the chat tonight. If all 200 of y'all donate at the $100 level, a bunch of trickle-down effects happen. You guys get access to all of that information. Because let's be honest, y'all. Again, it's us talking. How many people in the chat have taken all of the classes? We got 5 core classes right now. Civics, Firearms basics, stop the bleed, know your rights, and understanding imminent threat. How many people in the chat have taken all of those classes? Zero. I bet you. I bet you with the answer is zero. I'm not saying this to dish y'all. I work for y'all. I work with y'all. I'm just saying to y'all, we got to do better at making more force multipliers when there's somebody like me that shows up and goes, yeah, here go all of the information. You do it. I got it. I put it together. Matter of fact, if you need a firearms class for free, we got people donating. So now when I'm saying, yo, y'all donate to this, I could get 4 people online classes for that $100 donation. I could stretch that shit. And that single mom, that single dad coming home late from work at night, I'd rather kill myself doing that. I'm a point guard. I know how to dish the rock. I can see the floor in a way that most people can't see the floor. I can see the suburban floor. I can see an urban floor. I can see a rural floor. And great leaders help other players see the floor. Pau Gasol wasn't fucking dominant. Kobe showed him how to see the floor. That's my job. Okay? And in saying that, I'm telling y'all, I'm not going to bullshit y'all. I'm not going to tell y'all we look like we winning right now. I thought we would be further ahead on this second Trump term. I was like, bet. He going to come through swinging. He didn't. And neither has the GOP. The GOP has turned into people attacking one of the most principled men in Congress, Thomas Massey, my homie. I take that shit personal. Michael Jordan, me. And I took that personal. It tells me that the vast majority of y'all is bullshitters. So now we got to make more real Americans. That's what the whole solutionary lifestyle is about. I've been able to arm millions of people from urban demographics with less than $1 million in less than 10 years, get cited in a Bruin decision, and not get shot by the fucking police. I'm doing magic out this motherfucker. I'm magic like the fly on the wall looking at me. I'll be like, damn, motherfucker smooth. And I did it in making it and make the shit look easy. This shit difficult. But I'm not going to lie to y'all and act like this shit don't come with struggles. I'm not going to pretend to y'all like we winning. We not winning right now. We not winning. The Democrats got quiet. Y'all ain't heard shit from the squad. You might hear something from Rashida Tlaib or some shit like that, right? They not loud right now. When somebody get quiet, you should be concerned. Especially if they got shellacked with the Trump win. They threw all of their celebrities and shit behind it. They had Meg Thee Stallion twerking. They had Cardi B. They had Yabba Dabba Doo. They had them all. And they got their ass whipped. And they got quiet. Now, there's 11 states that have AWBs. Meanwhile, I'm like, yo, we might have to get back on the road. And y'all like, nah, Trump got it. The fuck are we talking about? I thought we was Americans out this motherfucker. I thought we was Americans. No? We're not Americans? I thought we were supposed to check the government. In the chat, tell me if you think Trump is doing a great job. As it relates to the Second Amendment. We ain't even going to go into the Iran conversation. Do you think that Trump is doing a great job for the Second Amendment right now? I agree with you, Wild Self. If Trump did everything he campaigned on, we'd be less behind. I agree with that. Carl says, fuck no. This is not me saying it. I told y'all, I work for y'all. I can tell you my perspective. But I'm telling y'all, it was never them. Bookworm says no. Gorilla Gun says absolutely fucking not. Pete Taylor says Trump is a traitor. It's not me convincing y'all. Y'all solutionaries, y'all got your own mind. But we got to get more of us. We got to make the people that we fucking respect, the people that got a big fucking following and resources, their job, or so they think, or their agenda, is to keep everybody nice and quiet and, you know what I mean, and stay on this team. You're supposed to speak truth to corrupt power. They're not doing that. So when you're in a room full of people that's fat and out of shape and can't shoot and don't know enough, your job as a fucking leader, as a point guard, your job is to make those people better. I don't fuck with followers. I don't got followers on any platform. I got other solutionaries that and bots and like people that's just plotting my downfall. But for the most part, I'm out here trying to create more solutionaries. People that look at something and go, that motherfucker John Fetterman sounded retarded for a long time. He seemed to be making sense now. And just have an objective opinion on things. Yo, I don't really know what justified the imminent threat that would say we need the commander-in-chief to go war powers resolution and circumnavigate the system of checks and balances. And even though you have the House, the Senate, and the executive branch to vote on going to war. I'm not going to tell you that shit it's cool to me. It's not. But if the general public doesn't even know what the fucking war powers resolution is and why Mike Lee and them just voted in a way that I'm like, what the fuck right now? Or why we would have a system of checks and balances because they're not in tune with American history, attuned with motherfucking liberty. Civics. So when I see that, I go, we got to make a class for that. We got to do this for that. And then we give it to the fucking people. But the people got to pitch in too, y'all. That's why I keep going back to fucking this right here. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary, y'all. We this close, man. And I say this as an example often. You know what I'm saying? I say this as an example a whole lot. When you driving somewhere for 8 hours, right? And you get a good ride. You like, yeah, you know what I mean? First 6-7 hours seem like you got some good audio books on. You rocking. But that last half hour, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, that last, and you like, oh my God, this is where the grind is at. This is why I keep telling y'all, I need y'all more now. I'm running out of energy. I know I am. I'm just fucking stubborn. I thought we was going to have a second, you know what I mean? A second win when Trump team and the defected Democrats, Tulsi Gabbard, who just put out a bullshit political statement about the brother leaving from National Counterintelligence. She put out a very political statement. It was like, well, President Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief, and it's his job to, she just repeated what the jobs were, to stay nice and neutral. She played the J.D. Vance shit. You know what I mean? She played the J.D. Vance shit. And so, saying that to say, and recognizing that, I go, okay. But I thought I was going to have a second win because we was going to have RFK Jr., fucking Vivek Ramaswamy, fucking J.D. Vance was AR in the fucking picture. It was great marketing. Great PR. Campaign was fucking great. I bought in. And it was the biggest rug pull in fucking political history, in my opinion. In my opinion. So, we need everybody's help. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Guys, I think that's a cool place to wrap up for tonight. Unless there's some Q&A and shit like that. Somebody just asked, the goal is 500K. What's it all for? I want everybody to go to GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. See what we did, what we already did, because that's important. I want everybody to be very clear. I don't have the $480,000 sitting in an interest-bearing account. We raise it, we make a move. But I want everybody to see, because if I say it right now, it'll look like you know what I mean? I want everybody to go read on the page. There's updates, there's videos. It ain't even my words. It's what other people said that what we've done. I want y'all to read some of them donor comments. Yo, I was in such and such, and you helped me this one time, and blah, 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 blah. Don't just believe me. Just go see what them people said in them comments. Let me see how many of it is. The people that actually gave over time was 6,500 people. The people that shared it was 698. And those 6,500 people got comments, right? And I'm saying that to say, oh, somebody said 408 error. Do that shit again. Bookworm, put that joint on the screen again or in the chat. We're trying to obviously get the building, do the things, make the classes free, all of that. But I want everybody to go look what we already did. I want everybody to look at what we already did, what other people are saying based on what we did. Because a person will love to throw you under the bus. Motherfuckers will lie on you just in a heartbeat. I know motherfuckers will lie on you, right? But outside of that, that's a public forum where everybody can say what they think. I don't delete nothing off that page. None of the comments. Go look at what we did, and we this close. You can't find a person. You cannot find one person. Anybody that act like I did something to them, right? When the full story gets told, which a lot of times I never tell the whole fucking story because I'm just like, it'll come out. Because they show back up. Everybody that act like I did something fucking wrong to them, when they get out their feelings, they come back later maybe and be like, damn, Maj, I was a little, yeah, I know. I'm used to it. Motherfuckers lied on Jesus, bruh. The fuck type of arrogance would I have to think they ain't gonna lie on me? So I leave it out there. My point in saying this is you're gonna be hard pressed to find one motherfucker that said, I came to a class and he made me pay. We did this thing one time when people was showing up and registering for the classes and not showing up. All right, Shelly, I'll see you later. Motherfuckers was registering for the class and not showing up. So we started doing a thing where we was like, you got to pay $10 to register and you get the $10 back in cash after you finish the class. Outside of that, you ain't going to find one person in the last 9 years that took a class from me in person that paid a motherfucking dime. So we got 10 years of that. So we already did a lot of this. We had to tail end. In the meantime, we shifted the narrative as it relates to what does it mean to be a gun owner? You can't just be a gun owner. You got to be a statesman. You got to be a stateswoman. Now we evolving it again. You got to be smart. You got to be aware of civics. You got to take a stop the bleed class. You got to have an understanding imminent threat class. We want to refine and strengthen what it fucking means to be an American patriot. An American patriot is a solutionary. And you got to be holistic and well-rounded. We want you to be alive. These politicians are trying to get y'all to not think about the future and be selfish. Everybody that's eating unhealthy and not thinking about their children and their children's children and being around for them, that's a subpar tactic. So we add some health and fitness to it. You guys can learn from me directly, and I will work with you directly, not a phone call. I'm in the sense of like not just one phone call. You can get access to all of these classes, and for 99 days, I'll work with you personally. We come up with your meal plans, your macros. We transform you into an actual solutionary along with the curriculums and videos. We got to keep evolving and strengthening. Our opposition is not fucking chilling. They taking Virginia and Rhode Island and New Jersey and Massachusetts and New York. They're not playing. We got to play. So we're going to re-envision and re-strengthen what it means to be this patriot. You got to be able to articulate freedom and liberty. You got to be able to defend your house, family, and loved ones. You got to be able to stop a bleed if shit go bad. You got to get in better shape. And I know all of y'all want this. I know all of y'all, nobody in the chat is going, no, I'd rather be dumber, fatter, and incapable of defense. Nobody in the room is saying that. The question is, are you going to be willing to put your ego down and go, yo, I get to help somebody else and I get to allocate some funds to this and get improved? We got to get out our own way. The leftists or the anti-gunners are not getting in their own way. They are not. They're not. As much as you want to say it. Don, thank you for that donation. Somebody just donated. As much as we want to say it, they're not getting in their own way. They are singularly fucking focused on taking your fucking freedom and your capability of defending yourself, leaving you having to outsource your security to the fucking government. Because they exempt themselves from all of this shit. They exempt themselves. I ain't going to that tonight. But these bills that's being presented, the legislature is exempt. Be very clear. The game is rigged. We got to course correct, and we need you guys' help to do it. There's 229 of y'all watching right now. Let's say this. Don just gave $10. Let's let that be the number tonight. If anybody wants to give it the $100 level, I have your email. And I'm going to email you access to on board to all of the classes. All of that transformative information that you will have for a lifetime, as long as you want it, and you can share it with others. 100% for everybody that does it at the $100 level. But everybody, whatever. Y'all all got it. Y'all going to say y'all don't, but whatever. If that's the case, Don is going to set the trend. Don Batman just gave $10 4 minutes ago. Okay? I'm not AI. Okay? It's not a bot running my page or checking the email. Okay? Everybody in here, 227 of y'all, just give $10. Just think about that. Just think about that. Pay it forward for others, for the person that you can see has been doing the work. Otherwise, don't fucking DM me talking about fucking like wasteful shit or how Trump isn't doing. They're not there. They have their own worldview and interests. You and I are not a fucking part of that. We and I and y'all have to make ourselves a part of that by working together. Don't tell me how horrible we know they horrible. What the fuck you gonna do about it? I'm not asking you to go fucking frontline. I'm frontline. I'm cool. I'm good. I like frontline. I'm good with it. I'm asking you for some fucking air support. Everybody in the chat, givesendgo.com/solutionary. Everybody just give $10. Everybody has $10. What's the math on that? 200. Let me do the math. Hold up, because I'm a high school dropout. Let's do the exact math. 229 of y'all watching. At $10 is $22.90. Think about that. $22.90. If we were able to get this much done in years with less than $1 million, imagine what we could do with every night we generate $2,200. And boom, boom, boom. Teach people, teach people, teach people. Come on, get a free class, get a free class. Come on, come on, come on. You shift the mindset. You shift the thought process. You shift voting patterns. I'm not winging it the fuck out here. But we are working together on cooperative economics, and everybody should just pitch in. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I appreciate everybody for listening tonight. I want to bust it up with everybody that donates. I'll be in the DMs on X. Shouts to everybody. Please make sure before y'all get out of here, y'all smash the like button and go over to GiveSendGo.com/solutionary and pitch in. Everybody give $10. That's all you got to do. Everybody give $10. Now, here's the crazy part. We all say we patriots. We all say all of this shit. We all say all of this. Then when it's time to step up, we already put the classes and curriculums together. We already have the center. We already doing this, that, and the third. We already fighting. We already making sacrifices. Then when I say, yo, everybody sacrifice $10. Let's see how many people do it. Matter of fact, let's do it this way. I'll match what everybody does. All right, Gorillas Guns. I'll match. Let's see if we can get 2,200. That's 229 people at $10, whatever the numbers were, right? We don't just be talking, and I didn't say $100. Anybody that wants to be at the $100 level, awesome, awesome. But I just said $10. I just said $10. So if everybody don't we see what it is, then don't slide in the DMs talking that patriot shit. Wars, which we are in, they need air support. They need this. They need different parts of the army. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Email is majtoure@solutionaryuniversity.org. If you're watching on X, you see my DM. It's there. If you got questions and stuff like that, let's chop it up in the DMs. If you've supported, like the fuck, you know what I mean? And let's share the space all over the place. And if you can't, you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I don't want nobody to feel bad. Let me be very clear. I don't want nobody to feel bad. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. If you ain't got it and you want to take a firearms class, shoot me an email or shoot me a DM. And I'll make sure I get you the class for free. Okay? So I'm saying this to challenge everybody to step up a bit financially, but this ain't about making us feel bad either. I want to be clear about that. I do want to challenge y'all to be like, look, section some of that off. You don't got to go front line. Help the people that are front and second line, right? But at the same time, this ain't about us attacking each other. And I don't want it to ever come off that way. So givesendgo.com/solutionary. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Share the space all over the place. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I will see you guys in the DMs. And tomorrow, be safe, be solutionary.